Hello and welcome, my Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read for July and August 2021. I am your reader, Pisces Moon, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since May 1st, 1998, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo, Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hey, my fishy family, my mer people. I hope you are all well. Just really feeling the vibe. Just did some Wim Hof breath and A Course in Miracles and said the prayer and held my big old honkin' torch aerial. So really felt very lovely right before doing this. I was feeling, as usual, you know, I'm a Virgo, Pisces moon, born on a full moon. So, you know, I have to do them in zodiacal order. I tried doing them in element order. It drove me nuts. I just can't. But just when you thought your chance had passed, I went and saved the best for last. I love my fishy family, my Pisceans, my mer people. So let's talk about your work, career, vocation. We're looking at your life purpose, at least for July and August 2021, through the three levels of power, the three lenses of power, if you like, work, career, and vocation. Work, what you do to survive in the world. Career, your heart, throat, third eye, crown, passion, right? Your emotional thirst, your mental hunger, your throat chakra passion, you know, that element of fire. And your vocation, your spiritual calling, to bring them all into alignment. That's what brings fulfillment. Like, doesn't matter how much money you're making at work or in your career. A lot of actors and artists work things that are not in their art form to follow and support their career. And some people are just all in on their vocation, and everything else comes and goes as need to. So there's a link in the description box from Caroline Myss, PhD. These are her archetype cards. It's part one of, I think, a 3-part lecture. It's YouTube. It's a YouTube video. So you can look deeper into the three levels of power, which she calls the literal, the personal, and the symbolic. Lower 3 chakras, heart, third eye, crown, 8th chakra. Check it out if you want to go deeper into that. But other than that, that's all I want to explain it, because I could talk about the three levels of power forever. Eau de toilette, cologne, perfume, so many ways, right? Like a promise, an oath, and a vow. There's so many ways to look at it. But I think you'll get the gist, and whatever pops out of my mouth as I do this may fill in some puzzle pieces as needed with all of that. Otherwise, it's a general read. You know that. Look, you're the last sign that I read every single series, so go check your other signs beforehand if you want to go a little bit deeper. And I do include Venus signs because, you know, it's about what we love. It's about our relationships, you know, particularly with our work, career, and vocation, right? And all that Venus stuff. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. All the decks that I read are in the bottom of the description box. We're using 2 healing systems and 2 tarot decks to get you 12 cards on the table. Other than that, let's get up in this gig. This feels lovely already. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, a little twitchy, but nice. Like you might like, there's this good feeling here that you might be like, I don't know, can I trust this? Here we go. Please, my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through the lenses of work, career, and vocation, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, for the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading for their work, career, vocation. Please give me the archetypes that reside in the 8th chakra for them. Maybe they're dealing with somebody with this archetype. Maybe it's a situation that they're alchemizing this archetype with. All of that, some of that for the Pisces here. July, August 2027. What's going on in the 8th chakra of their work? In their career, please, and this is the one that feels a little juicy, gotta say, and in their vocation, right? So this is the 8th chakra level of power. So What's the dominant 8th chakra archetype there? Now, you guys already know what these are. They're in the title. So let's see how brave. Let's see how brave you are. Well. Woo! Now, has one of these popped up before? Interesting placement of where it did. Never mind. Well, in your work, you've got the healer archetype, right? In the physical world. So if you are a literal physical healer in any way, shape, or form, and that's not always about being a nurse or a doctor, though it may be. Because I know plenty of doctors that ain't healers. Whoopsie. But, you know, Reiki, Schmeiki, eggs and bakey. But sometimes being a healer is really about just being there for people. And I'll read the archetype, the shadow and the light. As lovely as the healer sounds in the light is just as toxic as it is in the shadow. So the shadow attribute of the healer, taking advantage of those who need help. Womp womp. Failing to care for oneself, which, you know, Pisces, we could do that. We could be, so particularly if you're Pisces moon, you could feel other people's pain, so you want to help them heal. But in a way, we can get very people-pleasy about that, and that's not so great. We neglect our own needs for others. Definitely a sign of codependent patterning. But that can certainly be in work, not just in one-on-one relationships. The light attribute, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Now, this is what I do in my life for myself. I am my #1 client. I have to be in order just to do this YouTube stuff. Oh, I'm doing spiritual counseling later today, face-to-face. Woo, I'm back out on the road, out there. So, you know, through listening to people, through offering truth with compassion, that's what's going on. And this can also mean that your work life in and of itself is healing. This is the one that a lot of people will shy away from. The martyr archetype. Now, the healer is part of the healing family of archetypes. 9 families, healing. People are afraid of this one, as was I, right? Because Pisces, we can martyr. Oh, can we ever, right? Feeling everybody's everything. And if you are an empath, first wave of ascension, divine feminine, whatever you want to call it, you might be feeling other people's martyrdom. And even if 2% of it is yours, that's yours to heal here. Now, the shadow attribute is such a fucking nightmare. Addiction to self-pity, whether that's you or you're dealing with somebody. Certainly when someone's addicted to self-pity, that certainly leads to them being an energy drain. So you take that as it resonates. But there is something juicy going on here in the center lane. I really felt that in your career. And I think this light attribute has a lot to do with that. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Now, I feel like that could be, instead of an either or, that could be a both and, right? Particularly if you have not been taking care of yourself, failing to care for oneself, right? There it is. So, and you know, who nails that balance every single day? You know, the gods and the archangels give us tests, but they're litmus tests. It's not pass-fail. Right, just like, well, where are you on the pH balance of this particular alchemical ratio from lead to gold? Right, it's just all written into the quantum anyway. So we'll see, obviously, the other cards that hit here. But if you can get, I am learning, right? That's the key word here. I am learning something in my career about the transcendent nature of service. Right on for a work, career, vocation means you can serve through your career here. But service to oneself, I would say, as well as a cause. Particularly if you're a rebel, then you're a rebel with a cause. Oh, Salminio. Love this. If you're going to get the Virgin, get it in the 8th chakra. Get it in your vocation. The shadow attribute. Fear of intimate union. Now, if this is fear of intimate union with the divine, I understand, but there's nothing like it. The part of you that resists experiencing union with the divine is the ego, because it's called ego death. But the bliss, the ecstasy, you find that you're less dependent upon what's going on out here to fill you up, because, you know, the horizontal plane, it's lovely. Some of the time, comme ci, comme ça. But this way, which is our skill, which is the thing. We're the mystics. Well, we're the mystics and the addicts of the zodiac, because the mystic, if we can endure mystery and that union with the divine, that's pretty intense. But otherwise, we avoid it through addictions. And it's not all about drugs and alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. You can be addicted to cookies. That's why I limit my intake. The light side of this is so beautiful. Maintaining symbolic purity, and this is the symbolic level of power. You're calling symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Digging it. Now, my example of how I have the Virgin archetype, you could have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. The Virgin comes and goes for me. I would say that's seasonal, sort of. I don't go to karaoke, right? I don't watch people audition for things, because if you really want to make me cringe, well, refold a roadmap incorrectly. I'll just pass out, right? Twitch and pass out. But singing off key, that's where I'm a bit of a purist, right? It's another way to say this, the purist, right? Good choreography done badly. It gives me the cramps. It's still good. And my favorite is if I'm you never see this in restaurants, but you're at somebody's house and they've got like, a stick of butter on the table, and it's got like breadcrumbs and like knife wounds in it. It's like my own individually wrapped piece of butter, right? It's that symbolic purity. Virgin does not mean you don't get your stuff touched. It means unowned. That's the original meaning of the word virgin. Like even virgin olive oil, they press it but once, right? There's no heat treatment, so it is in its original state. And in the 8th chakra, that's lovely. Let's keep going. Daughters of the Moon Tarot will now give us the heart, throat, and third eye crown. Heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra aspect of this. What's going on behind your eyes, right? And for Pisces, this is big. Particularly that heart chakra, creative intuition. Let's see what's going on here. Breathe. I'm going to need another one on that, I think. Through the nose, get that nitrogen. And here we go, my beloved goddesses of water in the sign of Pisces. Oh, Artemis, Diana, Circe, please, my beloved Amazon, Empress, and Sorceress, please. 3 cards in clarity for the Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading, I can see myself in those archetypes. I gave up trying to keep myself out of these readings, because even when I do on camera, I see it off camera. So please, 3 cards in clarity. What's going on in the heart, throat, third eye, crown? Work, career, vocation for this Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Watching this video, receiving this reading. They've got the healer in their work. What's in their heart, throat, third eye, crown dynamic? Very nice. The martyr in their career. Now, this is the lane that really is heart, throat, third eye, crown, your career. So this one is, I think, where the juicy is. I hope is where the juicy is. What's going on there? And with that virgin, that symbolic purity of heart and spirit, like real spiritual authenticity, what's going on in their vocation? Let's look. Woo! Wow! Wow, okay, well, in your work, the healer with 10 of Cups, ecstasy. Whoa. Inanna's House of Heaven usually comes as a result, right, of the 8 of Cups, like walking away from something toxic into yourself, finding that 9th cup within yourself, right? That love, giving yourself that love that only you can give you, that love. And that's really where wish fulfillment begins, is by fulfilling it within, by giving yourself the love, the care, the support, right? Taking care of yourself emotionally here. And then that manifests as your cups overflowing, not with joy, but with ecstasy. Inanna's House of Heaven. Divine Goddess hot tub. I'm into it. Yeah. So also the healing work that you're doing on yourself, any kind of emotional healing work, shadow work, rebirthing, whatever that is. I would say rebirthing, probably really good idea there. to not just raise your vibration and manifest stuff, but to heal you, and then your 10 cups overflow, and then you are in balance. I-N, not I-M. Letter M, you know what I mean? Okay, right. The Martyr, here's where the juicy is, darling. You got the 9 of Pentacles with the Martyr. So this is service to yourself. This is being stable. Oh my God, you can show your friends and family this video. Mel says I'm stable. You are. You are. This is creativity at its best in terms of being independent. This definitely feels like someone, if they're not self-employed or with a side gig that's all their own, that this would indicate that the creative intuition, it's almost at the 10, but it really, I could see that lighting you up with whatever you're doing in the world. So yeah, take care of the voices inside of you that are addicted to self-pity. And also, I'm going to say, depending on how powerful an empath you are, how wide your energy field is on that, if you're really feeling that, notice who's around you, or what's around you, or what's going on in the news. You'll always find something in the news, right, to kind of invoke that, because addiction is about avoidance of pain. And we're water signs. We might as well, and understand it might not all be you. How many people have lost things? How many people are feeling sorry for themselves? But that doesn't mean we should stop doing that. Those are the voices, the feelings, the energies within our own energy system that need our love. So this is feeling very connected, your work life and your career life. Because here, with the 8th chakra dynamic in your vocation of the Virgin, well, do you just have the 5 of Flames, Pele, the volcano? Now, ordinarily, you would hear that as, oh, it's conflict and battling and competition. That's not the vibe on this. Pele, there is something in your heart, third eye crown, that has been percolating, building up molten magma. Pele is no joke, but once she explodes, right, once she erupts, this feels like an eruption of some creativity, fire, element of will, desire, but also creativity, just blasting through you. This can be a kundalini rush, right? I do Wim Hof breath pretty much before every reading. I certainly do it every day with the cold showers and all. If you don't know what Wim Hof is, he was on Ellen. He's got a killer YouTube, WIMHOF, that's his name. So I do that every day, and it is like giving myself little kundalini flushes and, hitting the third eye with that soma and all of that. So this could absolutely be inspiration rising up within you, right, in terms of your calling, the passion. Now, 5s, yeah, I get everybody says that, 5 of Wands. But remember, even if you go back to Rider-Waite, Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork, it's like they're not beating the crap out of each other. It's like practicing. It's getting it together. 5s are numbers of change, and certainly a volcano is a change from being dormant to being active. Maybe that's clear for some of you in terms of enacting your calling in this world, your vocation. But I really feel like these are reading actually this way, not past, present, future, but in a line. Volcanic ash is one of the most mineral, fertile, nutrient-dense substances on the planet. That's why the volcanic islands are so abundant, right? Usually in the Pacific, right? We see pineapples and pomegranates and pears. Oh my. But that would make sense, right? So as this kind of erupts, you're going in and you're really feeling very strong, very independent, very grounded, very balanced, because this Martyr, this divine family archetype is kind of saying, that's it, purity of heart. I'm going to do this, in for a penny, in for a pound, but it's service to myself as well as a cause that just, as the healer, 10 of Cups. Right, so you go from a 5 to a 9 to a 10. It is a progression there from fire, which would be inspiration as well, at least drive in that way, creativity. with the Nine of Pentacles, that stability, that real emotional stability, being okay, not just okay inside yourself. What's this feeling? Self-assured. Like you may not need anybody else's approval on this to feel it yourself. No one else can give you self-approval. Boy, does that line you up. I mean, if anybody, Joseph Campbell would say with that healer with the Ten of Cups, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. I'm pretty sure he's one of my spirit guides. You think? Him and Carl Jung hanging out in my crown chakra every now and again. What does this look like on the outer? I recommend every Pisces read the work of Carl Jung, or at least Jungian psychology. Jean, J-E-A-N, Shinoda Bolen, and there's a hyphen between Shinoda and Bolen. Her work is just amazing. Harper San Francisco, life-changing stuff. All right, the Mythic Tarot, we're going to look at the root, sacrum, solar plexus dynamic. Those are the chakras that really do navigate the physical part of this, either from the outside looking in at you horizontally, or you from the inside looking out horizontally at some physical aspect here, and it can be both. Please take a nice deep breath. Okay, this is where things I think get a little dicey. My gods of water and the sign of Pisces. Please, 3 cards in clarity. For the Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on in their work, career, vocation, in the physical aspect of this, from the outside looking in or from the inside looking out, or both? That would particularly affect, change, deal with, interact with root, sacrum, solar plexus dynamic, which is certainly about bringing manifestation into form, right? Root chakra, that second chakra, that one-on-one partnership relationship thing, but also money, sexuality, and creativity. And solar plexus, right? Self-esteem, which is a verb, not a noun. Their boundaries, their honor code. What's going on here? They got in their work the healer in the 8th. 10 of Cups on the inner. What's going on the outer? Their career, the martyr, really looking to get that, I'm learning something. I'm learning the transcendent nature of service to myself and a cause, particularly as you learn that your own healing has a holographic effect on all of life. With that 9 of Pentacles, Malama on the inner, that feels so rich and juicy. What's going on here in the physical? And with the Virgin archetype in their calling. With Pele the volcano, they've been simmering for a while on this. I feel like the time for action is certainly coming here for them, maintaining that symbolic purity of heart and spirit there with their mystical power erupting. This can be a Kundalini awakening. What does this look like on the outside, please? That one. My gods of water and the sign of Pisces. Wow. Well. Didn't you just get one of each? Court card, Major Arcana, Minor Arcana. Well, in terms of your work, you got the healer with the 10 of Cups with the Queen of Wands. Here we have the Leo energy. Now, you don't got to be a Leo. Like, I'm Leo rising. I'm seeing myself from the outside in on this one, right? Let them have it, right? Queen of Wands, fixed fire, creativity. There is some moving forward here. There is some expression, letting your light shine at full capacity here, and having a good time. Like Leo, I mean, I've studied a lot of astrology. I am not an astrologer. I am just a witch who speaks language like that on occasion. But certainly creativity, good fortune, but pleasure. Right? It's definitely like, I live with 3 black cats, my boys. I love them. Sebastian, Balthazar, Melchior. They're just the cutest things. I love them. They're all grown. But there's nothing like watching all 3 of them upstairs on their window daybed. They have their own window daybed because I don't have kids. They are my kids. Just like melting in the sun. They're just so happy. And I'm like, oh, it's a good thing you don't need sunscreen. I never go outside without sunscreen, right? Gotta make yourself look good. The only crow's feet around this house are on actual crows. So there is something really beautiful and fun here, but I think this is where the tricky is. Right? I said something felt a little tricky. You got the martyr, right, in the 8th in your career. with that Nine of Pentacles. Self-assuredness is that it's like, no, I've got this. I can do this. I'm solid. I'm stable. Pentacles aren't all about the physicality, but they can be about wisdom gained as a result of dealing with the physical world. And here you've got the Hierophant. Now, why I say that's tricky is because for some of you, there may be some certification that if you do not already have, you might have to get. So there might be a bit of a pause on this, particularly if you are a healer. And I do recommend you get certified. I'm Reiki 2. I got the certificate somewhere. I don't want to be Reiki 3. Thank you very much. But as a spiritual counselor, I have the freedom, but I know what my legal boundaries are. If you ever want to book a reading with me or a spiritual counseling session, here are my rules. Number 1, total confidentiality on my end. You can say whatever you want. I'm under vows for that. Second one, by law, I'm not allowed to diagnose or treat mental illness or personality disorder, even if it's like flashing in my eyes that that's what's going on. I'll just refer them. That's by law. I was raised by a lawyer. And the third is to not have to keep coming back, right? So even that can be like you establishing your own business, right? But there are levels and steps and protocols that have to be done. No one becomes a Hierophant overnight. You can self-proclaim yourself a Hierophant, a high priest, a high priestess, whatever you want, but then expect there to be an initiation process given by the higher powers. So whatever this is with the Martyr for you to get, I might just have to work the system here. But there's something serious. Maybe that's why with all this other lovely kind of bubbly energy here with that Ten of Cups, I felt like there's something tricky here. And I don't doubt that there is something tricky there. Like setting up a business. I helped found a ministry, and the paperwork we had to do and the loopholes we had to jump through just to prove that we were who we were. But, you know, it was a 501c3. It is exactly needed to be that way. And I'm no longer doing that. No thanks. I'll take private sector through my own company, thank you. Right? S Corporation, 1998, Drawing the Circle. And S Corporation, LLCs didn't even exist. I would have loved an LLC. It would have been easier. But still, you may have to go through the paperwork on this, or at least the learning process. You get what I'm saying? It's either like training or the formalization of it, really making a commitment to this without being a total martyr, but saying, oh, and that Ten of Cups is in there, of feeling that transcendent nature of service, but you are part of it. It's not either or, it's both end, you and a cause. Here we go. In your calling, you're going to love this. The Virgin with the Pele, the volcano. Six of Pentacles, right? Physical balance, which a 9 is 3 threes with an internal balance that gives you a nice solid foundation for that Ten of Cups. I'm loving this reading. I'll say for us at this point. I'll include myself. If it ain't my reading, don't care. You can do another one tomorrow if necessary. But really maintain that symbolic purity of heart and spirit here, because it feels like you've been holding the bow, the arrow back on the bow. Thank you, Artemis, right? And it's a flaming arrow. Oh my God, Zack Snyder launched the arrow. My daughter, right? Find her. Off it goes. Well, you're launching it because you've got in the physical world at least enough money in the bank balance, right? Six of Pentacles. That there's something very, very stable here, that you might have the physical means to actually put your spiritual creativity in motion, keeping your symbolic purity of heart and spirit, which means you don't need to lie, you don't need to front, you can be authentic on this, particularly with that Ten of Pentacles. And if you need to get a degree, you need to get the paperwork done, do it. Worth it, right? So many people don't. And no, I come from lawyers and teachers, honey. I get a lot of pro bono work as a result. Yet people don't love lawyers. I love lawyers. Well, a lot of them. I've dated a bunch too. Okay, let's get your last three down. These are the healing mantras from the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. I'm not reading from the bookie book. It's too long. These are too long as they are. I know. I don't want to watch an hour-long reading unless I'm really plugged in, right? Unless I'm like, oh, that's me. Then I want to watch it till the very, very last second. But if you take these mantras, the titles, and put them together, they give a very clear reading, sometimes both ways, you know, depending on the order you read them. But if you put the mantras together as one paragraphical mantra, that's hard to say. It is something that, you know, particularly if you watched when I did June, July, like, look at those. Look at what those were and see if any of them repeat. Let's do this. Breathe. I can't help it. I'm a spiritual teacher. Ding. My Ascended Masters. I felt that. My Ascended Masters of Life Purpose through Work, Career, Vocation, please. 3 healing mantra cards. The perfect healing mantras for the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading, please. What are the perfect healing mantras for their work, career, vocation, and their work? They got the Healer, 10 of Cups on the inner, Queen of Wands, fixed fire, Leo energy on the outer. There's their mantra. In their career, the Martyr archetype in the 8th, 9 of Pentacles, Malama on the inner, Hierophant on the outer. What's their mantra? And in their vocation, they've got a Virgin vocation. I hope they can drive. With the 5 of Flames, Pele on the inner, with 6 of Pentacles, which I'm just loving that on the outer. What is there? Oh, I just heard. Wow, it's like if you've been putting out, I mean, in terms of service, with the Virgin archetype, yeah, I think we know what that means, that it's reciprocal. It's like it's becoming more equal give and take, that you might actually be getting paid more for your vocation or the potential of that than necessarily in your work or your career. Well, doesn't that just make sense? Oh, okay. In your work, the Healer, 10 of Cups, Queen of Wands, receiving elation. I am born of infinite joy, and that is true of all of us. But if you do not know your heritage, right? If you do not know your true divine parentage, we don't always feel that. I am born of infinite joy is the truth. The divine wanted to be you, because remember, your soul is immortal, eternal, guiltless, sinless, birthless, deathless, and divine. It's just how it is for everybody I know. Isn't that terrifying? It's true. But you are born of that. So really good mantra for kind of not just raising your vibration, but getting into alignment. There is so much healing here for you and other people. And as a Pisces, I'm going to say that this is you caring for yourself, and that mantra is going to do that and then help you really put it out there, or at least radiate that light wherever you go. Just remember, some people are terrified of that light, and that's not on you, that's on them. Trust me, I know. In your career, you got the Martyr, right? Transcendent, learning the transcendent nature, so strong inside. Not a 10 of Pentacles, a 9 of Pentacles. Very self-assured and in a healthy way. But yet there is that Hierophant that perhaps that can be as well. Like, you are very committed to your career, but there is also something about formalization here in some way, shape, or form. With overcoming fear, I will transcend every loss. Now, you are probably going to have some loss to experience the gain. It's just how it works. Overcoming fear, the truth is eternal beings come from a place where there is no gain or loss. It's all one, not necessarily formless. It's not like we're just like this, well, the great singularity, right? The mother of all, she who created the Tao, so to speak. Yeah, the supreme being, the divine singularity, the one source, right? Formless source. But once we come into the illusion of separation, at least third and fourth dimensional reality, there is gain and loss. It's like the turning of the seasons, right? Well, depending on where you live, you may not experience that so directly if you're on the equator or on the North and South Pole. But there is that turning of the clock, day turning into night. There is no death without rebirth, no crucifixion without resurrection, right? No going to ashes without rising from the phoenix. And that might just very well be the fear of taking the leap here and actually formalizing this and putting your vocation into physical form with the Virgin in the 8th, that maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. With this, I'm going to call it what it is, creative passion, an explosion. You might have been holding this down, waiting for the right time, but with the 6 of Pentacles on the outer, it really, really feels like it's time. Awakening, inspired action. Now, I'm going to say the Aquarians just got this in their work, I believe. There's only what life is asking of me, that you don't need to overthink this. It's only what life is asking of me. What's showing up right in front of you in terms of your calling, and it feels like the opportunity for equal give and take. All right, I'm just going to do a scenario. Someone in their vocation really has this pure desire to serve. It's their creative thing. They don't know what to do, but all of a sudden they're finding themselves maybe making some money here, making some money there, but sort of off the books. Well, then, learning the transcendent nature, and let's call the Hierophant another of the names that it's known by, the teacher, right? A learning, formalization, perhaps educational experience, but you've got the goods. You've got the stability inside of yourself. You just need to overcome fear, which doesn't mean repress it, but it's a good mantra. I will transcend every loss, because you know what? We do. Some take longer than others, right? The loss of a loved one is very, very different, or maybe not so different to a lot of people, the loss of a career, but we transcend them all anyway. Do you remember all the losses you had in other lives? Of course you don't, right? Do you remember the ones you experienced as a child, the traumatic ones? Sure. But I feel like this might be part of what's in the healing here with this healer archetype in your work. With this, it really does read this way. It's a trickle-down effect energetically. That's one of the trickle-downs that actually work. That 10 of Cups on the inner, and really letting your light shine at full capacity, and that allows you to receive elation, that I'm born of infinite joy. And don't freak out when it stops. It's temporary, right? That these states of innate joy, the joy from within, the joy that's not dependent upon things outside of you, the joy of being, very much Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, New Earth, if you're familiar. If not, you might want to check that out, right? That stillness within us might seem boring at first, but from it bubbles that virgin purity of heart and spirit. It's a lovely read. Let me give you the blessing, as I do with all of my readings, right? Helps me synopsize it in a way that actually transmits an energetic as well as a verbal blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of work, career, vocation, life, purpose, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, please. May the Piscean collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, that they may maintain symbolic purity of heart and spirit, particularly with this creativity, geysering up, volcanic expression of creativity that comes with and or as a result of some physical balance in their life. Awakening, inspired action, not anticipated, thought out, dissected to death, but inspired action, because there's only what life is asking of them, so that in their career they can learn the transcendent nature of service to themselves and a cause, because they've got enough of that independence and stability, enough of that infrastructure within them that they can really handle this. And it might even be indeed that they are coming out as a spiritual teacher, guide, but there's something, again, the word formalizing or being formalized here, holding in their hand, like Chiron there, the wounded healer, a diploma of sorts, a scroll of some sorts, with the understanding that there is a need to overcome fear here, because they will transcend every loss. so that in their work they can really embrace the healing of the healer archetype, a passion to serve others, a passion to serve others, a passion to serve others by repairing body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing, which feels like that might be something that they have learned, overcoming fear, learning that they always transcend loss, and as a result, their cups runneth over. 10 of Cups. Inanna's House of Ecstasy, and Inanna and Ereshkigal is a big mythos about embracing the shadow. Maybe they've spent some time in the underworld doing the alchemical work, and they are ready to shine. That Leo card, 5th house, creativity, good fortune, pleasure, play, really enjoying themselves as they receive elation, understanding that they are born of infinite joy, so that they may bring their 8th through root chakra into alignment, true channels of heaven into earth, bringing heaven to earth and lifting up earth to heaven for their well-being and their healing, for the well-being of those they serve, and as the result of all of that, the blessing and the healing of all of life, known and unknown to them, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is. I think this deserves a bop to the music, don't you? Here we go. Do 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 do. Only do that on readings that feel really good, and really, there's nothing here. I mean, some of the words might see a little Martyr and Hierophant, but otherwise, you know, this 5 of Flames here does not feel horrible. Anyway, you want to go deeper, you want to WCV read, you reach out to me, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Mark Angelo, Lyons in Holbrook, New York. You can try Gmail, DrawingTheCircle@gmail.com, but give me some time to sort through the spam. And check out my book, Words of Grace. Go preview it on Kindle. And if you don't have Kindle, just get the free Kindle app. I dedicated the book to my mom. $9.99 USD, cheaper than a pack of cigarettes, I should know. Otherwise, my beloved fishy family, wishing you the very best and the very blessed in your work, career, vocation, July and August 2021, my beloved fishy families. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.